It was a day like any other, dreary and cold like the rest of the world. That was until she walked into the room. Yeah, I'd seen this type before. Beautiful, but like the world had chewed her up and spit her out. She said her name was Camilla, and she needed my help. Told me her brother was missing. Missing? Ha! You say missing? I said maybe he just didn't want to be found. I knew plenty of those types. Men who decided to check out a life and left behind those that loved them. We talked for hours and hours. Her telling me about her brother and how he was her responsibility after their parents died in a plane crash. Camilla did everything she could for the guy. Sent him off to prep school and even had him spend summers helping the nuns at St. Peter's so he could learn right from wrong. But I'm not sure Sister Margaret knew what that meant either. Next, she got him a job working at the new mayor's poorhouse, helping those less fortunate. But that is where things started to unravel. You see, there were some unsavory characters at the poorhouse, including the mayor, who was making a lot of money at the poorhouse. So I decided to hit the pavement and head out to interview the sisters. Where did they go that day? Did they see anything? Something about the way they were acting just didn't add up. I knew the little one knew something. If I could just talk to her away from Sister Margaret. And just like that, she started singing like a canary. I learned all about how they found Charlie slumped over and bleeding, how Sister Margaret thought he was one of the poor vagrants and left him for dead. Next, I went to see Mayor Olson, a fancy dame. Believe me, there was never a pair of shoes she didn't like. Funny though, how she could afford all those things on a mayor's salary. Then she acted like she never knew Charlie, until I reminded her she hired him. I knew she said she never saw him, but something tells me this fancy lady wouldn't have spared any time for the dirty, bleeding Charlie found on the side of the road. So I was stumped. The people who knew Charlie had let him down. They left him to die in a neighborhood not his own amongst people he did not know. I decided to take one more crack at it before calling his sister with the bad news. So I decided to return where it all began, the poorhouse. I started handing out flyers, asking questions, and doing detective work. I learned that a man named Bart was boasting about robbing some rich kid the night of the ribbon cutting. He jumped him from behind, beat him, and stole the money he earned from his first paycheck. And that would have been it, except for an angel. No, not that kind of angel. Angel Hawkins, one of the hobos from the train tracks. She was looking for a place to sleep when she stumbled across poor Charlie. She dressed his wounds with her hanky and then took him aside and made sure he got the last bed. She stayed and did chores around the poorhouse to thank them for taking Charlie in. Then she slept next to his cot to make sure he was okay. The next day, she took the train to head further south down the road. So Charlie was here all along. None of these do-gooders knew that he was the John Doe in bed number 9 of the poorhouse. He was here out of the kindness of a stranger. Someone you wouldn't expect to help him showed mercy on him. I don't know about you, but that makes me want to go out and do the same thing.